Hey guys, what's up? It's Katie and I'm back with this quick little video about a new mechanic that Kabam has introduced into the game called pre-fight ability. Now, when I first saw this, I was a little intrigued, I'm not gonna lie, and I was also slightly concerned. Currently, the only character that is live in the game that has this ability is the Human Torch, and from what I can tell, none of the other new champs that are being introduced into the game in this, 6-week event that we have going on have this pre-fight ability. So that kind of makes me wonder if this mechanic is going to be like a permanent feature of the game, if they're going to introduce more champs with it later on, or what's the deal going to be with that. Now, I want to say one thing right out the gate is that this video is not meant to explain the Human Torch's pre-fight ability, but basically the concept of the mechanic as it can be used in Marvel Contest of Champions. I think that this can be a fun and interesting mechanic in the game, but I also believe that it could throw the balance of the game completely off, and basically if Kabam gets too heavy-handed with it. So if we look back to all the champs that we've had introduced since 2017, and there's a good many of them, right? We've had a good many of them. There were certain champs in the late part of 2017 that were introduced with persistent charges. Now, Mephisto was the first one. If we look at them here, Mephisto was the first champ introduced with persistent charges, and there was some hesitation when persistent charges were first introduced, right? It was kind of like, what is this? So, and then even since then, if you can take a look, Kabam has introduced quite a few characters with persistent charges. Some of them are super beneficial to the characters. Some are just, they're all right. Some of them are totally useless and confusing, and we really don't have any idea what they do. But, up until now, they really haven't been game-breaking, really. So, while Kabam does get a few things wrong, I am really impressed with their character development, with the exception of Diablo. Kabam seems to make each champ unique, and, they're constantly coming up with new abilities and new interactions. I mean, if you look at the Human Torch and his synergy with the Thing, they actually change their animations. The Thing gets, some fire off of his heavy, which I think is really cool, and the Human Torch throws some rocks. So that's pretty intriguing. Kabam used to be the reskin champion. Think about it. That's why we've got 2 Magnetos, technically, and 2 Captain Marvels. But they realized early on that this was a mistake and it would not be beneficial in the long run, and they quickly corrected course and came up with a bunch of new characters, which is great because if you look at it today, there are over 140 characters in this tap tap swipe game that we've got going on. And it can be difficult, especially with all their interactions and stuff. And like I said, there are some misses. Diablo. Which, I mean, if you've seen my Diablo Sucks video, you know what I'm talking about. But for the most part, Kabam has been great with their character balance. So what will this new mechanic do? Will it enhance the game and make more new characters more dynamic and, possibly rendering the old ones obsolete? Only time will tell. We really don't know. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Human Torch's pre-fight abilities. So it's called Flame On pre-fight ability, and he starts the quest with 1 persistent charge. If he has at least 1 persistent charge, he can consume that to activate this ability before the fight. And for the entire fight, all of Human Torch's incinerates, or now Nova Flame, last 2 seconds longer and can deal an additional X amount of damage, but this ability does not stack. So with my limited testing and things I've been hearing from people, this pre-fight ability really is not that powerful and kind of makes him a quote-unquote one-pump chump. So since it can only be used once per quest and there's not really a a way to regain, oh my gosh, regain that persistent charge back, unless of course he's awakened, and then there is a chance that he can get that persistent charge back, but that's a whole nother thing. So really, I'm not sure about it. Like I said, I am not a Human Torch expert. There are plenty of other guys out there who have him, who have played with him. So now, this pre-fight ability is pretty simple. There's really not much to it, but knowing Kabam, that means they have plans to extend this into ways that I can't even begin to imagine. I mean, Kabam could easily incorporate ways to characters to gain persistent charges and bank them, and then, you know, allow them to activate a certain pre-fight ability that allows a champ to complete a piece of content that they may not have been best suited for, such as, you know, burn 2 persistent charges for the next fight for poison immunity or something like that. I mean, the possibilities are endless. And they could also improve synergies into the mix and have certain champs synergize, you know, with other champs that give them pre-fight abilities that can be activated when the time comes. I mean, there is really no shortage of ways that they could do that. They could make more champs able to complete different content that they may not have been intended to, and then that also can allow us to use a champ in ways that, you know, we never even thought of. With this whole concept, you can basically have a customizable champion, which is kind of pretty cool. Now, while those are benefits, there are some drawbacks to this. With any new mechanic in the game, it has to be implemented in a way that doesn't make old champs or old abilities obsolete. If developers start designing new content around new mechanics, that can, you know, leave a bad taste in people's mouths, just like the whole 4-star ban in Act 6, if you think about it. Nobody wants to see content that makes all your past hard work completely useless. So, but overall, Kabam does a pretty good job in balancing the content where you don't need just one champ to get through. With the second back issues, excuse me, I did not have a Venom the Duck, Domino, or Venom who are ideal, it seems, but I have been getting through it pretty decently with my Hulks and Hype. So basically, as long as the content can stay balanced around the new characters and the old characters, then I think most of the community will welcome any new mechanics that are, you know, introduced into the game. So what are you guys' thoughts on this whole, you know, pre-fight ability where you get to choose how you want to fight? Do you think it will be beneficial or detrimental to the game? Or do you think it's really going to have no impact on the game at all? Do you think it will be a new part of the game that Kabam's going to implement it with a few other champs as well, like they did with persistent charges? Or do you think that the Human Torch is just going to have it and we will never ever see it again, making this whole discussion and video pointless? Let's discuss. As always, guys, thanks everyone for watching. If you guys liked what you saw and you want to see more, please remember to like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Bye, guys.